Hello, this is Anna and welcome to my channel Be Beautifully AV, and today I'd like to talk to you about my TBR list for the Christmas break. I've started my holidays on Thursday, so today's Saturday, 2 days ago. As I'm a teacher, I teach biology and physics, so I'm on a school break until the 5th of January, and that gives me a perfect opportunity to actually focus on some of the books I've been delaying for quite a long time. I have planned to read possibly 6 books, if I may, but one of them is so big and so difficult that I'll be just really happy if I finish that one, maybe something else from my list. So the first book I have started reading on Thursday, my first day of a break, is Archipelago GULAG by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn. It's a Russian book. It is a massive book and it deals with a very difficult issue of Soviet concentration camps. So it's autobiographical. It's based on stories by many people who have died in the concentration camps, which he has collected while he served his own 10-year sentence in there. It is a difficult book. It's also over 2,000 pages long, and I can't read it when I'm working because I find the content is so difficult. When I come back from work, I'm so tired. All I really want is to fall asleep or read something nice and easy. The book is published in 8 different parts, but part 8 is really just an epilogue. It's not really that big. So there are 7 main parts, and in Russian, I'm reading it in Russian. It's published usually as 3 books, so volumes 1, 2 and 3. And I've started it on Thursday, and believe it or not, I've actually pretty much finished the 2nd volume. So I've read parts 1 to 3 in full and most of part 4. And I think I overkilled it. Basically yesterday I spent the entire day reading it. I've read like 900 pages in total in 2 days. And I couldn't fall asleep. My insomnia kicked in. Like last night I probably had about 2 hours of sleep. I'd just been having nightmares because some of the information he tells you is so graphic, and the way people were murdered or just dying in the most horrific ways that as soon as I closed my eyes I could just see corpses and haunting images of it. So I have to say I'm going to restrain myself and not even approach the book for 2 days. So today and tomorrow I'm giving it a bit of a pass. It's a very difficult book to read, but I do still think that people should read it. They should be aware of what can happen. It's basically a genocide of your own people, of your own ethnic minorities, because the vast proportion of people killed in the concentration camp were Russians. So Russians were killing their own people. It's hard. It's a difficult book, but I'm glad that I'm reading it. It's not my first one by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn. I have read the Cancer Ward. I think I've read it twice. It's his experience of having cancer, and then he was sent to the special unit in a hospital in Russia. It's still the same structure. You just go to like oncology unit. But in the Soviet Union, the policy was that you can't be told as a patient what it is you have. So you suspect you must be having a cancer, but no one will actually tell you that you do. I think I would like to collect the entire set of works by Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn, but the ones I've seen in Russia, they're about 30 volumes altogether, and they're quite pricey, but ideally this is what I would like. At the same time, since I am reading about Russian concentration camp, I've been recommended a book by one of my readers, because you want to read the book, and that is Ruta Sepetys, Between the Shades of Grey. And I have never read that book, but she is a Lithuanian-American writer, and she writes about the story of the family who were torn away by Bolsheviks from Lithuania in 1941 and sent to Siberia. So I think reading those 2 books in parallel would make sense. I have a copy of the book, but I have it electronically, same for Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn, because I need to see if I like them enough to purchase them in paper. The other books I do have in paper, so I plan to read the Slightly Foxed issue 52. I have told you to death about this book. I really like it, so that's a nice fun part. I would also like to finally have time to read the last lecture. It's probably about the 100th time you have seen this book this year. A lot of booktubers have read it. Everyone says it's absolutely wonderful. It's the last lecture given for this professor of computer science following his diagnosis in his battle with pancreatic cancer. I have seen some of the last lectures given by professors, and they're always really moving and very powerful, so I would like to see more of this. I'm probably going to cry when I read it. When I did my PhD, I was very, very fortunate to see Professor Michael Ashburner in Cambridge Department of Genetics give his very last lecture, because he was diagnosed with lung cancer. He was a very avid smoker. He has recovered. He had undergone multiple surgeries, and one of them was so extensive he basically has half of his lung left out of the two, so he's not teaching anymore. But I was the very, very, very last set of students who have seen him in action, so this would, I think, be a lovely read. Also like to read Terms and Conditions. Everyone is talking about this book, published by the Slightly Fox. They have this beautiful glove-bound edition. It still has the flap, and I was reading the Times review of this and the Guardian review, and they both say that the only complaint the reviewer had is that the book is too small. They would like for the book to be twice as long, because it's just so wonderful. And finally, it's not really TBR. This is something which has been on my reading list for a while. I have started this book back in February. It is in Russian, so it is by Israel Zinga. He is the older brother of Isaac Zinga, Nobel laureate. He is a Polish-American writer. He died in the United States. He has written everything in Yiddish. A lot of his work has been translated into English subsequently following his death. This is a collection of his short stories. Has 3 short stories which have never been translated into English from Yiddish, which is a bit sad. He's less known than his younger brother, who won the Nobel Prize. But he does have his book, which I'd like to read next year, called The Ashkenazi Brothers, which has been obviously translated into English. So, as I say, it's only 3 short stories. It's an absolutely tiny book, but I have several issues. Number one, it deals with very difficult part in history, and my family was the Polish Ashkenazi Jews, and they had to run away from my father's side. They had to leave the comforts of their home and had been completely disseminated. Some of them had died in the concentration camps. So it does have a personal connection for me. And the second is the language. I don't speak Yiddish. My great-great-parents and my grandparents spoke Yiddish, which is basically part Hebrew, part German. My father can probably understand some of the Yiddish, but he doesn't speak Hebrew, he speaks Russian. I don't speak any of that, and there is an extensive vocabulary, so a lot of the terms used in the book have been done, basically Russian translation. It's a Yiddish word, but with Russian letters. So it's a slow read, but I would like to finally get it done. Yeah. That's it. That's my TBR for these Christmas holidays. I would like to get as much of it finished as possible, and I'll see you guys in the next video, where I'm going to talk about my 5 disappointments of this year. Have a lovely Christmas. Bye.